Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. The regular meeting of the Gary Redevelopment Commission of December 11, 2019 is now called to order. May I have a roll call, please?
Thank you, Madam President. Commissioner Joyner,
Present.
Commissioner King,
Here.
Commissioner Hall,
Present.
Commissioner Jones,
Present.
Mr. Bud.
Present.
Let it be noted that Commissioner Johnson is absent today.
With 4 voting members present, we do have a quorum to conduct business for the Redevelopment Commission today. Item number 3, certification of record of executive session held December 11, 2019. I hereby certify that nothing has been discussed in executive session held immediately before this open meeting except those items specified and listed in the notes. May I have a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
So moved and properly second. Are there any questions or comments? Not, may I have a roll call, please?
Thank you, Madam President. Commissioner Joyner,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Mr.
Skip me.
Yeah.
Intentionally?
No, Commissioner Hall.
Yes.
Someone was talking.
Oh, okay. All right,
Motion is carried.
All right, thank you. Item number 4, acceptance and approval of minutes of regular meeting held on October 30th, 2019. What's the board's pleasure?
Motion to approve. Second.
So moved and properly second. Are there any questions or comments? Not, may I have a roll call, please?
Thank you, Madam President. Commissioner Joyner,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Item number 5, corrected special claims list of November 20th, 2019, which has been previously approved by the director. May we have an overview, please?
Yes, the special claims list from November 2019 had a typographical error. There was accidentally a 7 inserted into, instead of 1,275, it was inserted as 17,275. So that has been corrected, so it was in the 826 tip fund. So the subtotal changed from $116,639.47 to $100,639.47. And the grand total from the special claims list from $610,344.47 decreased to the amount of $594,344.47.
Okay.
Motion to approve with the noted corrections.
Sorry.
So moved and properly second. Are there any questions or comments? Not, may I have a roll call, please?
Thank you, Madam President. Commissioner Joyner,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Item number 6, claims list of December 11, 2019, which has been previously approved by our director. May I have an overview, please?
Yes, in the 101 general fund, in the amount of $10,098.32. In the 229 unsafe building fund, amounts in $33,412.36. In the 474 non-reverting fund, $58,927.60. And in the demolition fund, $578.58.
What's the board's pleasure?
Motion to approve. This is the next item.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are there any questions or comments? Not, may I have a roll call, please?
Thank you, Madam President. Commissioner Joyner,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yeah.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Item number 7, special claims list of December 11, 2019, which has been previously approved by the director. May I have an overview, please?
Yes, in the 823 consolidated tip, $39,426.50. In the 826 lakefront tip, $679,011.14. And in Kenny's rib tip fund, $3,165.
What's on the, overview, this board's pleasure?
Move to accept. Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are there any questions or comments? Not, may I have a roll call, please?
Thank you, Madam President. Commissioner Joyner,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Item number 8, award RFQ number 2019-8 to provide demolition services for various structures located in the city of Gary, Indiana, and request for approval of resolution number 6089, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a demolition agreement with JM Industrial Services to provide demolition services for various structures located in the city of Gary, Indiana, in the city of Gary, Indiana, response to RFQ number 2019-8. Overview, please.
Following contractors were notified that the request for quotation must be received on or before Wednesday, December 6, 2019 by 3. Acton Contracting, Avatar Enterprises, JM Industrial Services, and DNR Site Services. Staff has reviewed and received bids from Acton, JM, Avatar, and DNR Services. Staff is now requesting the bid be awarded to the following contractor as being the lowest, most responsive, and responsible bidder. Award to JM Industrial Services. The structure is located at 3750 Harrison Street, 3876 Madison Street, 3769 Madison Street, 3340 East 12th Street, and 2461 Jefferson Street, in the total award amount of $36,000. Therefore, the staff recommends to award RFQ 2019-8 as read for the structures in a grand total awarded amount for $36,000. And staff recommends to approve resolution number 6089, a demolition agreement with JM Industrial Services for the above mentioned demolition sites to be effective December 11, 2019 and ending on December 31st, 2019, or at the conclusion of all work required meeting the specifications.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are there any questions or comments? Not a roll call, please.
Thank you, Madam President. Commissioner Joyner,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item number 9, award RFQ number 2019-9, provide demolition services for various structures located in the city of Gary, Indiana. A request for approval of resolution number 6090, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a demolition agreement with JM Industrial Services to provide demolition services for various structures located in the city of Gary, Indiana, response to RFQ number 2019-9. May I have an overview, please?
Yes. As is before, the following contractors were notified that they had to respond by Wednesday, December 6, 2019 by 3 p.m. Acton Contracting, Avatar Enterprises, JM Industrial Services, and DNR Site Services. Staff has reviewed bids and received from Acton, JM, Avatar, and DNR Services, and staff is now requesting the bids be awarded to the following contractors being the lowest, most responsive, and responsible bidder, to JM Industrial Services for the structures located at 3975 Jefferson Street, 3936 Washington Street, 3940 Washington Street, 3969 Washington Street, 3963 Washington Street, 3961 Washington Street, 4041 Delaware Street, 4072 Delaware Street, 4076 Delaware Street, 4141 Kentucky Street, and 1033 East 41st Place, in the total award amount of $65,700. Therefore, staff recommends to award RFQ number 2019-8 as read for the structures in the grand total awarded amount for $65,700. The staff recommends to approve resolution number 6090, a demolition agreement with JM Industrial Services for the mentioned demolition sites to be effective December 11, 2019 and ending December 31st, 2019, or at the conclusion of all work required meeting specifications.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are there any questions or comments? Not a roll call, please.
Thank you, Madam President. Commissioner Joyner,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item number 10, request for approval of resolution number 6091, a resolution approving a memorandum of understanding between the Gary Chicago Airport Authority and the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission for completion of Phase 2 construction and rehabilitation of the Airport Road project. May I have an overview, please?
Yes. Staff is requesting to enter in an MOU to allocate and finance the completion of Phase 2 construction and rehabilitation of Airport Road that serves the major roadway leading to the Gary International Airport. The Gary Redevelopment Commission and the Airport Authority will provide funding the Indiana Department of Transportation to assist in the completion of this project. As the board may be aware, well, you are aware because this was voted on and approved by, the initial funding of the 600 or 700 some odd thousand was approved by the board about 8 or 9 months ago, and the transition between Joe and myself, and it paid out the initial sum. These funds that are being allocated from the airport board in the sum of $370,092.37 will go back into the lakefront TIF as their contribution to this overall project. So this is something that the board had requested that we get accomplished with the airport board, and they have very kindly partnered with us on this, and would just ask that we enter into the MOU and approve the resolution.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moving properly second, are there any questions or comments? No, have a roll call, please.
Thank you, Madam President. Commissioner Joyner,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Item number 11, request and approval of resolution number 6092, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an extension of contract date of the letter of agreement for economic development planning, statutory recording, and general consulting services with SEH of Indiana. Repeat it, please.
Yes, as you're aware, we have a yearly contract with SEH out of, their local offices in Munster, and we have some funds that we can carry over into 2020, rather than entering into a new contract, carry over those funds into 2020, so this is not any additional funds to SEH in advance of 2020, it's just extending the time for us to spend those funds so that we have continuity services, especially considering that we have bond payments coming due middle of January, and they do the heavy lifting on those bond payments for us. Not to mention project analysis and deal flow in doing any type of TIF or tax payment analysis.
Statutory reports.
Motion to approve.
Second.
This has been properly second, are there any questions or comments? Not have a roll call, please.
Thank you, Madam President. Commissioner Joyner,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Item number 12, request for approval of resolution number 6093, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a new professional service contract with, Avia?
Niavia.
It's close. Navia Wilson to provide planning and administrative support for the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission, focusing on downtown revitalization and industrial redevelopment. You have no please.
Yes, Niavia has been a part-time contractor for redevelopment for the current year, and in order to, once again, continuity services, this is a new contract that starts December 1st of this year through the end of April of next year. So not a full year's contract, but for the first quarter, so that we can kind of keep operations moving here in the office, because as the board may be aware, we've had a finance person removed from our budget, and with the amount of complex work that goes on here, and the amount of staff turnover that we've had over the course of last year, we need staff here January 1, and to have these, have her under contract coming into January, because this is the last board meeting of the year. I thought it was extremely important to keep us being responsive to the public and answering any questions and all of the various work that comes with redevelopment's way.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved properly second, are there any questions or comments? Not in roll call, please.
Thank you, Madam President. Commissioner Joyner,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Item number 13, request for approval of resolution number 6094, resolution approving the execution of the extension of contract date for a professional service contract with Michael Baker International Incorporated, MBI, for technical services. May I have that?
Yes, as the board may or may not be aware, Michael Baker is another firm like SEH who has ongoing work with many of our projects. Winnie Vacher with Michael Baker has been spearheading the city's efforts on a lot of coordination with the railroads, specifically in the northwest part of the city, as well as the local tracks project, working with the Pete Wiskoski's office on removing the bridge on 10th and Chase so that we can make the Ivanhoe parcel more marketable for redevelopment purposes, as well as generally assisting in redevelopment projects, as well as planning and zoning having to do with the ongoing efforts with the comp plan, as well as zoning ordinance. So once again, this is a contract extension, not additional funds at this time. We want to carry those over into 2020.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moving properly second, are there any questions or comments?
Just, have you had a chance to speak with the Congressman's office to see what progress is being made? Is it still moving along?
It is. I actually met with Liz Johnson in the Congressman's office last week or the week before, and this is one of the topics of discussion. Working with them both on the Marquette Trail as well as kind of coordination with the railroads, because one of kind of the hardest part about removing bridges, first determining which railroad actually owns it. So we believe we've tracked that down. We're working with both the Congressman's office as well as our contacts with NDOT to make a determination about what process it would take to get that bridge down, similar to the bridge that was removed here on Broadway a couple years back. So we're hoping to take a similar path, and hopefully there's not any obligation for the city to expend any funds to have that bridge removed.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Not in roll call, please.
Thank you, Madam President. Commissioner Joyner,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item number 14, request to advertise for official notice to bidders for demolition of the John Ward Anderson Boys and Girls Community Center, select portions located at 2700 West 19th Avenue in the city of Gary. Please.
Yes, and as you'll see, the memo to the board from Carol Purtle, my deputy director, for notice of bid, just requesting the board gives permission to bid out the work for demolition of the John Will Anderson Boys and Girls Community Center located at 2700 West 19th Avenue here in the city.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are there any questions or comments? Not in roll call, please.
Thank you, Madam President. Commissioner Joyner,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item number 15, request to advertise for official notice to bidders for demolition of Franklin Elementary School located at 600 East 35th Avenue in the city of Gary, Indiana. Your overview, please.
It's very similar to the last one, requesting the ability to notice to bid for demolition of this vacant school property that is owned by the city of Gary, and our continuing efforts to eliminate blight throughout the city. And this is just part of that process.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Properly second, are there any questions or comments?
Yeah, I got a question. Is the school board involved in the,
No, this is wholly owned by the city of Gary.
They don't, I have a quick question. They going to demolish that whole building as it stands now?
We're
Requesting school.
We're requesting bids. The funding hasn't necessarily been identified, but we are looking at what it would cost to demolish the property.
Any other questions?
No.
Roll call, please.
Thank you, Madam President. Commissioner Joyner,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
yes,
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item number 16, request to change the Gary Redevelopment Commission annual meeting from January 1st, 2019 to January 22nd, 2020.
we're not gonna start
No.
January first.
That's right.
Nice.
No, we planned that one.
I'm not coming, I'm telling you that right now.
Well, just a little background on that, and Jerry probably knows better than I do, but the way the state law says we're supposed to have a redevelopment meeting first week,
Yes.
unless otherwise voted
Oh,
on.
right.
Mhm.
I move to,
Good day to me.
accept this.
Second.
Moving to properly second, are there any questions or comments? It's typically had it on the third or fourth, depending upon how the first fell. So you usually have it the first week. That's what yeah. So, and it's the first of the year, so. Okay, any other comments, questions? Not my roll call, please.
Commissioner Joyner,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item number 7.
Probably keeping the same times.
So that's, for January 22nd, we'll keep the same time, but because of, my preference would be to have the board start meeting either at City Hall or public, like city-owned piece of property, just to make it easier for the general public to attend the meetings. Not to mention, this is a less than ideal meeting space for any type of visual aids or multimedia. So the hope is that we can get back into maybe use the council chambers once those renovations and the roof repairs are done at City Hall. However, we will play it by ear once we set the entire agenda in January for the rest of the year.
All right. Item number 17, public comments on agenda items only. Is anyone who wants to make a comment on agenda items only?
Madam President?
Mr. Nowaki.
Yes, good evening, Commissioners. Number one, I'd like to, I guess it might be a Scrivener's error on the agenda that was provided. It said that the annual meeting is going to be changed from January 1st, 2019 to January 22nd, 2020. And I just want to make sure that I understand where that was supposed to be 2020
Yes.
to January 2020.
Thank you, Mr. Nowaki.
Okay, because otherwise it looks like you're having your annual meeting at the end of the year instead of starting the year with that.
Thank you, Mr. Nowaki. One more.
Okay, the other thing is, in the award of contracts, there were bids received from and the award request for qualifications. Some of them were coming from a company named DNR. And it is my understanding that DNR has been reconfigured to be to leave out the D in that because of some activity of the partner, the D initialed partner in that. We see the trucks had all been titled Richardson Site Services from but the same trucks from DNR. So I just was questioning whether the company DNR is still authorized. It was my understanding that DNR was prohibited because of the activities of one of the partners. And if I misunderstood that, or if because I know in the past that discussion has come up, I would just urge the director to make sure that that's an actual company that's being allowed to bid on it. I think they're prohibited. DNR is prohibited because of this illegal activity they were involved in. And I would also remind the board that we were doing these demolitions, and we have to be very careful about the manifest, because there was an article in one of the great local newspapers, daily newspapers, identifying a site, the old school administrative site, Gary Public Schools, that was being used illegally as a site for demolition debris, and now there's a big argument about it. But it seems that the commissioners and the director have to be very cautious about, one, who they're awarding contracts to, and two, make sure that this stuff is being properly disposed of and not illegally dumped in areas that are not suitable for their being dumped.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is anyone else? Report from Agent Bittner, our director.
Sure. I will keep it brief. I have one request and one update. The update is we'll be in front of the Redevelopment Authority's board tomorrow morning for an update of the facade program parameters. I will be there to represent the board so that our policies and RDA policies meet the request in working with more businesses within the city of Gary, and having the facade program eligible for all of those businesses that are along GPTC bus routes and transit routes here in the city. So we'll be there, and then we'll be updating those parameters on the city's website so that any businesses can visually see if they're eligible or not for any the facade program, funds that are available. To date, we've had two facade program, awardees that have been approved by the RDA as well as the Redevelopment Commission, and we are working with the Finance Department to get them paid out as of this date. But we are diligently trying to market that and have folks take advantage of this program. The second one, I had sent out the Indiana State Department of Health. There's a 2019 grant funding application that is due Thursday, December 19th, that myself and staff have been working on to create a response for a bike and pedestrian plan here within the city. And it's for a 1-to-1 matching grant. The total grant amount would be up to $20,000. So if it were a $20,000 grant, the city would be responsible for $10,000 of it. I would ask that the board vote to approve. The Redevelopment Commission would provide that local match if we aren't able to find any other partners to put in that application. Be happy to answer any questions about the grant specifically or what the priorities would be.
Anything else?
And that would be the official, will be taken at another meeting.
Well, I would just like to the board to vote to commit up to $10,000 for
Tonight?
Yeah, so that I can make application for that, and at a later time have it, if we are awarded, create the resolution of which fund it would come out of.
At this time, I'd like a motion to amend the agenda.
Second, motion to amend the agenda.
Okay. So we've been properly second. Are there any questions or comments? None, roll call, please.
Thank you, Madam President. Commissioner Joyner?
Yes.
Commissioner King?
Yes.
Commissioner Hall?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Okay, ma'am.
Motion's carried.
And you're requesting?
Up to $10,000 of local match for the Indiana State Department of Health 2019 grant funding for a bike and pedestrian master plan.
What's the board's pleasure?
Motion to approve.
So we've been properly second. Are there any questions or comments? Not then roll call, please.
Thank you, Madam President. Commissioner Joyner?
Yes.
Commissioner King?
Yes.
Commissioner Hall?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
That is all I have. I'll turn it over to our board attorney.
No comment.
All right, item number 20, Commissioner Joyner,
No comment.
Commissioner Johnson's not present, Commissioner King.
Yeah, I have a few comments actually. So it's two things that I'm especially excited about that came up on the agenda. One being the plan that you just spoke about, the bike and pedestrian plan, because I know that a lot of council people spoke about increasing walkability throughout the city, so I'm excited about that. And I'm also excited about the agenda item number 15, which ultimately expresses the intent to demolish the school. I know that citizens of Gary would be excited to know that that's an intention due to some events that happen with abandoned schools in the city. So, yeah, I'm excited about those things. So.
Thank you. Joining that as well, Commissioner Hall.
I just want to say as a friends, I can the commission and wish everyone a happy new year.
Thank you.
Happy holidays to everyone, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Looking forward to seeing you next year. And we've had a productive year. Mr. Bittner, thank you for stepping in and taking the reins because you came in the midst of it all.
Whirlwind.
Yeah, he came into a whirlwind and he's managing it well. I appreciate that and the transition. Came in pretty serious and that his I think we've all been able to see that you come in and that's appreciated. It's not an easy job that you have. So in addition to other responsibilities that have been added since you've been here. So we appreciate that. To the commissioners as well. Another year, we've gotten done and more to go. Appreciate all the work that you've done. That's fine.
Thank you all.
No, you don't have an easy job. You wear a lot of hats. So.
I get paid, you guys do this for free.
True statement. True statement. But I think we're all here because we love the city of Gary and we're dedicated to making sure that its growth and viability is continues. So, Mr. Bugs, thank you for all your input this year.
Oh, thank you.
Go.
I have a couple of comments,
I'm not done yet.
oh, you're not done yet?
I'm
Oh.
almost there. I'm almost there.
Okay.
Attorney King, I know we do a lot. We do a lot, so we appreciate all that you do too as well. Thank you. So, this is our last meeting of the year. That's why I made the comments I made. Okay, it's your turn, Mr. Wright.
All right, thank you so much. First of all, I would like to congratulate a young lady from Gary. I think she's been overlooked in this city. She just won a world title boxer,
Yes, sir.
Mercedes Mary McGee.
Yes.
And not only that, she's made history. Now, I think it's a little bit sexist because when we have champions that are men, it's all over the papers and City Hall and everywhere. And she's won many championships, but
Yes.
she doesn't get any accolades. So, Mary, congratulations. Thank you for representing Gary proudly. And I had suggested to the school corporation that they would give us stipend to come and talk to some of our troubled youth, especially the young ladies.
Mm.
She's a role model, and listen to her, she understands. Understands she had a troubled past when she was growing up, and she's be the excellent person to be utilized in our school system.
Mhm.
But most of all, I just want to thank her because she never ever gets any recognition from the city of Gary. All over the world, everywhere else,
Mm.
they are so very proud of her. But right here in our home city, almost like Jesus, you know, if you don't get any recognition, just go somewhere else. I mean, dust off your feet, just move. But anyway, thank you, Mary, for coming back. And I also would like to, for the senior citizens out there, there's a lot of scam artists going around pretending from NIPSCO, your furnace need checking on. Don't let anybody in your house. If you have any questions, any doubt, don't unlock your door for any reason whatsoever. And if you have some neighbors that you have as a senior citizen, with it being cold, sometimes you never know their furnace may go off. They may be in that cold, you know, so check on your neighbors. I'm guilty myself. I don't know all the people on my block. A long time ago, many years ago, everybody knew everybody. And right now, I don't know half the people on my block, and I've been at the same place for a lot of years, so. I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and thank God that we're here and hope to see another Christmas healthy, with sound mind and body. And I just want to thank you all for allowing me to be sitting here, not being allowed to vote. Thank you, Mr. Moraki. But I have learned that it's not all about the voting, it's how to listen, you know. So this little point, you know, listen, you can learn something. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bucks.
All right. Item number 22, agenda items for the next board meeting. Are there any agenda items for the next board meeting?
We'll know in January. Election of officers.
There have been, something about, some bids coming in. Is that still, is that imminent, or was that, did I misread that?
Coming up on the agenda today.
No, that was to notice for bidders,
Okay.
to put out a notice.
Oh, put it out, okay.
Okay. Item number 23, adjournment. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that the Gary Redevelopment Commission meeting on December 11, 2019 is adjourned. May I have a roll call, please?
Thank you, Madam President. Commissioner Joyner,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Mr. Jones.
Yes. Meeting is adjourned.
All right.
Mr. Joyner?